Good evening, YouTube. Welcome back to Play the Hits. This is Borderlands Final Fantasy IV. How you doing, Nick? Nick is dead.
Oh, you cut out, and I thought you were gonna try your intro again.
Nope, I was just making some Borderlands 2 joke.
Well, I was gonna open with an Attack on Titan joke, but never mind. The opportunity is passed.
Well, crap! I kind of want to hear that. Let's redo it. Good evening, YouTube.
So, fun facts. Before we get into relevant stuff, I just need the world to know that I recently learned how to make garlic butter.
Huh.
Yeah,
that sounds delightful.
There's certain things you shouldn't figure out how to make, especially when they're not good for you.
Well, I mean, it could be worse. You could be discovering this when you're 40 and at risk for a heart attack.
I made a slice for spaghetti, and I think I had 7 to 8 pieces of garlic toast.
Shit, I had a really good dinner, and now you're just making me hungry all over again, Nick. Oh, right.
Well, I am writing a cookbook. That's been my pet project the last couple weeks.
Oh, nice. Is it an erotic cookbook, or...?
No, it's just a cookbook, Chris. It teaches you how to cook food, not to wear it, not to have sex with it, just teaches you how to cook food.
Then what's the fucking point, I ask you?
Clearly, this is not the cookbook for you and your household.
It's just got a picture of George Costanza on the cover with one eyebrow raised. I really don't need those arrows anymore. The George Costanza erotic cookbook.
So I hear we may be getting snow tomorrow.
You're kidding.
I was gonna garden, and we were either supposed to get rain or snow, and either way I can't run the tiller, so...
Nice. It's supposed to be low 60s here, I believe.
Oh, is it?
As far as I know, I mean... That sucks. Freaking northern Ohio. I know in, like, Wisconsin, they're getting snow already.
Wait, principles of buoyancy... Oh, this is Sid's house. That makes more sense.
Ah, crap. Sid is planning on building a floating house, isn't he?
I was gonna say leave that to the sequel, and then I forgot this.
Yeah, we straight up has a sequel, which we have access to.
Oh, wait a sec. Didn't you just miss something?
Oh, you know what? I think you're right. Hey.
I was hoping for a sword, but whatever.
No, I know which one you're thinking of. The ancient sword is down at the end of this dungeon.
Right. Did that sword have some sort of special ability I was just never privy to?
No, it's actually pretty much useless, and I don't know why they give it to you.
Huh, I figured for as hidden as it was, you know...
Yeah, like it should do something.
I seem to remember this dungeon being a bit of a slog.
It can be, so I'm probably going to rush through a lot of it, especially since my character levels at this point don't matter. So, strap your grinding panties on. We're in for a ride here. What the hell did I mean by that? What are grinding panties?
I don't know, but I would suggest deleting your search history, you know, just saying.
Hey, if the Pope can't make me do it, you're not gonna make me do it.
I think the Pope has got other concerns on his mind, Chris.
That's right, I'm not even Catholic, man. What am I drinking? This is just water.
You leave that to us papist, okay? We'll deal with our Pope. You deal with whatever it is you Lutherans answer to.
We just have a president and then Jesus.
No, you know.
It's far less flashy.
Oh, wait, you weren't joking about the whole president.
Yeah,
right?
no, we straight up just have a president. He's elected and everything. I could be him if I, weren't such a horrible person. And, Play the Hits didn't exist to ruin any future career aspirations I might have in the clergy.
Any further up the church ladder, and I get the feeling these videos are going private real quick before they get...
God help me if anyone ever Googled. Though
yeah,
actually,
I know, right?
I've been very careful not to place our names in any of the search qualifiers for this series, so I think we're relatively safe.
It's gonna go right up there with those snuff films we did back in college.
Yeah, man, those poor kittens. I knew cooking with Nick was a bad idea.
You know, you boil a lobster, you're a masterclass chef. You boil a bag of kittens, all of a sudden we've got issues.
All of a sudden, I'm a monster and not fit to have children. A crime against humanity, blah, blah, blah. So, Nick, we should address the elephant in the room at this point here. This has kind of become our main project. What's the status of Borderlands 2? Is that dead in the water, or?
Oh no, we will. I just have to admit I'm having an uncanny amount of fun going through FF4 with these new sprites. I don't know, maybe it's the nostalgia, maybe it's the quality. I just love this game. I have no problem getting back into that next week.
Okay.
Just, you know, when you start with 4, you're going to end up finishing with 4.
Yeah, I just didn't want to pressure you. I figured you might not be feeling it, and, you know, tax season obviously was stressing you out, so I didn't want to add to it. I figured this was a nice laid-back answer to Borderlands 2.
No, I'm pretty blunt. If I don't like something, I get vocal about it, but...
You don't say.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, take the guesswork out of having to deal with people.
Cut back to 10 years ago when Chris and Nick first met. Hey, I'm Chris Beck, how you doing? I don't know what it is about your face, but if you don't change it, I will change it for you.
Yeah, Professor Jarabi's class was pretty great. But no, like I said, I think it'll be fun to jump back into Borderlands next week, but boy, if we don't get out of that tutorial phase in a couple more episodes, I might just gouge my ears out, or my eyes out.
We start getting some more varied missions once we get into town,
I noticed that we start falling into a very basic pattern of fight down hallway until one of us falls down and gets picked back up, and then repeats.
I mean, that is Borderlands in a nutshell.
You know, it kind of is, because I have well over hours into that game, and it's kind of bringing back memories, but... You know, we'll wait till we get to the robots from Hyperion, and we'll see.
After pretty much where we are, you have to remember that it's going to all be new territory to me. So when you say robots, I am intrigued.
That's why I'm willing to make the push through. That being said, it's also kind of hard to play Borderlands when I've been playing Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon recently.
Yeah, you've been touting that quite a bit.
Grab that on a Steam sale. That would be hilarious. I mean, imagine if we could both play Metal Gear Solid 5 at the same time.
That would be actually freaking hilarious. Oh, wait, Nick, I got it. Let's just get Metal Gear Survive.
You're not serious, are you? I have a hard time remembering that game happened.
I heard a small piece of you die just now.
It's one of those things where I wonder if the servers are already shut down.
It could be. Actually, you know...
It's very possible.
Come to think of it, though, I've been thinking a lot about kind of the future of this channel and some great projects to work on, and I'm thinking finally it's about time you and I really got into our passion and played some Fortnite.
You know, we played Fortnite once, my sister and I, and despite 2 generations of people in the room, neither of us got the appeal.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that. I think we talked about that a little during one of the last episodes of Doom. Hello, Thundara.
Oh, I thought one of them absorbs Thundara. Are you testing the waters on this, Chris, or
Oh, no. I have no desire to ever pick up Fortnite, but I'm just being facetious.
Like I've said in the past, if someone gets pleasure out of something that I don't, more power to them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's popular for a reason. There's most certainly some appeal. It's just, I kind of have to reconcile myself to the fact that I am no longer the target audience for new video game releases.
Were I younger? No. Were I younger, I'd be playing Final Fantasy.
I was gonna say, this is all honestly like the same shit I've always played. Like, it's just that when we were younger, we were who games were targeted to because games weren't targeted. for the mainstream. You know, they were targeted at like the closet nerds and kind of the geeky kids who preferred
well,
to...
I mean, yeah, this was before it had gotten gobbled up and bastardized by the hot topics and the mass and the mass pop culture machine. Before, you know, everything was
yeah, and again,
focus tested. Like,
don't get me wrong. Like, I'm actually really pleased that gaming has gone as mainstream as it has, because suddenly it's a hobby which not only is everyone excited about and on the same level of enthusiasm I've always been excited about it, but at the same time, you know, developers have freedom to try creative new stuff. A ton of money is being thrown at it. It's a billion-dollar industry, you know, that people actually care about. So even if yeah, the average you know, 17-year-old is way more concerned with, you know, Fortnite than they are with, you know, whatever RPG series I find so endearing at the time. The fact is that RPG series is still getting made, and a level of fidelity I never even dreamed of. So, I'm happy to be a part of it.
I mean, there's no point in getting upset at something because Fortnite is popular. I mean,
yeah, you know, I think a lot of people who, like, people in
it's not like it's diverting resources from the RPGs of the world out there,
right?
You know?
And I think a lot of the reason that people in your and my shoes really hate the modern gaming movement is because it's not niche anymore. It's not like this underground, you know, nerds only culture, and that somehow makes it less special for them, you know?
Well, yes, because you go back to the Gutenberg press argument. If something is available to everybody, is it as important or special anymore? You know, does it lose its value if everyone has it? And I would say yes to a certain degree.
Yeah, though in this medium, I would say no. If anything, it's just given more flexibility for people of every ilk to find something they enjoy within this medium. Like, it's kind of like how early movies were largely, you know, kind of these strange, vaguely artistic-looking stage productions, and then by the time, you know, the 60s hit, it was, you know, genre pieces, and everyone could find something they enjoy in the world of cinema. That's kind of where gaming has finally arrived. It doesn't matter if you like RPGs or shooters or sport games or anything else under the sun. It's there for you at, you know, a click of the mouse. So why not be a part of it?
I mean, the games, I don't think overall have been harmed. I mean, you can make arguments about, you know, like EA gobbling up BioWare, but I mean, that didn't stop Epic Battle Fantasy 4 or 5 from coming out.
Yeah.
The games will always be there, and they'll be more or less of the, you know, of good quality because there's usually someone out there making the game you want. The culture has changed irrevocably, which,
oh yeah, and, you know, there is something to be said for that. The culture is definitely, I mean, it's gone, because for something as varied as gaming has become, you can't really have the culture that you had in the 90s with it. Like, that's one thing that I actually really miss, is gaming has kind of lost some of its mystique, where you used to pick up, like, a Nintendo Power and get vague hints about, like, a Mario RPG that may or may not be coming out, and you know, you had to, like, learn cheat codes and secrets from your friends at recess. I mean, that'll never happen again. I mean, now we know the entire... We know exactly how many missions and what trophies and achievements and weapons are in a game, like, months before its release.
You can take a game like this and play through it 20 times as a child in the 90s, like, you know, I did, and learn something a little new every time and still not be sure you've learned everything. Or, you know, you can watch a video online or read a guide and then, you know every monster sprite that's in the game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, there's the argument you don't have to look at it, but it's been quantified and it's a known commodity.
Yeah, basically all you are is the last person to the party.
Essentially, yeah, and there's nothing special to it.
Because you know there's like two jackasses right now, somewhere out there, recording this game and spoiling the shit out of it for everybody. Wait, what did I say? And they think they're being so creative and unique, offering their take on it, which is so special. Because Yang resonated with me in a way that he didn't with you.
Wait a sec, since when did Tella have purple hair?
Huh. He's just fucking Ferris from FF5.
Does it make him younger, or does it just make him smaller, like a smaller old man? I don't
Wait a minute, Cecil, don't cure me. I feel amazing. Nope. Oh, I'm old again.
For that matter...
Why did I use the damn tent? We're just about to ban.
What is the, Is there some sort of, like, Japanese lore thing where, like, the magic mallet makes the tiny man big again?
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. Because all of their stuff... I know the reference to the golden needle. Diet ration is obvious. It just makes you not fat anymore like a pig.
Well, explain the golden needle to
Maiden's
me.
kiss cures to... There's like an old fairy tale about a girl who went mute and, you know, they poked her throat with the golden needle and she could speak again. Or no, I'm sorry. No, that's the echo screen. The golden needle is for stone. It cures, petrification. And that's also a folklore thing. But you're right, I straight up don't get the magic mallet one. Like I said, I remember the golden needle, Maiden's kiss, everyone knows the princess and the frog. Some of them aren't really based on mythology, eye drops and diet ration and antidote. But yeah, I don't know where the mallet comes from.
It was more or less whatever kind of fairy tales and whatever you could scrape together. Okay,
so there's the ancient sword, and it's garbage. Like, I don't understand why you would equip that.
Is it an item you can use?
It's an item I could have Edge huck at an enemy.
I think you can have Cecil wield it, and it will do the age status effect on a monster.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Is it made of stone?
Curse.
Yeah, it can sometimes curse an enemy, but can I use that in the magnet cave?
That might be useful.
I'm actually going to hang on to it this time and see if that's what it is. Wouldn't that be... we would learn something new.
So,
I'm pretty sure that's not it, but, you know.
Ready for a 5-minute diversion here, because I've got a burning question.
I always am. And yes,
right,
it is as long as you've heard.
I've been meaning to ask this for a while.
He just ignores it.
Since I know how to deal with you at this point. So, Mass Effect 2. Alright. I realized that my entire enjoyment of the Mass Effect series hinged on one of my assumptions regarding Mass Effect 2. What was the point of the plot in Mass Effect 2?
Wasn't it just band of brothers in space?
Okay, what were the collectors trying to achieve?
They were trying to get people and melt them because this is the 1980s and aliens are evil. Oh wait, Star Wars. Sorry, go on.
Yeah. Why? What was the collector's plot in that game? Like, why were they doing that?
Because they're the bad guys.
Okay, right. But...
Right. Chris, you're not taking the bait, and I'm confused.
No, I want to hear your opinion here, because I realize I've just assumed this the entire time playing the Mass Effect series, and making this assumption kind of colors how you view the entire series.
Okay, so my understanding of it is that by melting them down, they somehow got their DNA or human juices or whatever, and that helped them assemble the human Reaper.
Okay, right, okay.
If I'm being serious.
Right. Why were they building a human Reaper?
Because Reapers come in every couple, like, millions of years or so, and they take the most prominent civilization and they adapt to them and wipe them out before they can rise up against them. That's
okay, right.
what I've been thinking.
I definitely follow you with that. Okay, so we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
So, what would that Reaper's goal have been? I mean, if they were to have assembled it, I mean...
start making new human Reapers out of... Like instead of the Protheans, you would have humans being the husks, and then the Reapers survive on for another million or so years until they come back and wipe out the next civilization.
Okay.
That's kind of how I understood their lore.
Okay, because I apparently have understood it completely differently.
Oh, go for it. Enlighten me.
I always assumed that with the destruction of Sovereign, the Reapers have pretty much lost their trump card. In that okay, because Sovereign was the one scout who was supposed to stay behind and then activate the Citadel every few million years, or I guess when you got to Mass Effect 3, it was every 50,000 years. That he was supposed to stay behind and activate the Citadel to let his buddies in, harvest the galaxy, rinse and repeat. I had always worked under the assumption that the Collectors were building the Human Reaper to replace Sovereign to essentially, create a Reaper behind enemy lines to activate the Citadel. That was my understanding.
I think I follow you. Yeah, that sounds legit.
I mean, no one else that I've ever talked to about this had thought of it from that perspective, and I always thought, oh, that's so cool. Okay,
yeah,
so it's this unknown threat, right there.
Oh God!
In the. Oh wow!
I didn't know it could do that.
What is?
Didn't know he could reflect. Didn't know he could reflect twin magic.
Well, it cost him an arm, or two.
But strangely enough, not a leg.
Oh right, he can just do that.
Yeah. That's why you gotta kill Torso first.
Yeah, so anyways, I was surprised. I always thought that was heavily implied by the narrative, but everyone else was like, yeah, they're just building a Reaper. And then I don't know, it kind of made me feel that, oh, maybe this whole mythos wasn't as thought out as I gave it credit for. Maybe I just kind of...
you filled in some of the blanks yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think some of the best stories invite you to do just that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay, interesting. So, like I said, maybe the narrative just did not specify that. Maybe I just superimposed what I wanted it to be on it. I find that interesting. I have learned something.
Have you read any of the Mass Effect novels? Was that worth delving into for you?
Video game novels tend to be pretty bad, so no, I didn't touch them.
Yeah, I tend to agree. And, Actually, I will say, strangely enough,
with the exception of Resident Evil.
Yeah, the Resident Evil novels I actually really enjoyed. I did, however, also read the first part of the Metal Gear Solid novelization, and boy, do I wish I had not.
Yeah, they just wanted it to be a Tom Clancy novel is what it was.
No, not even that. Like, that would have been a step up, yeah. Basically, they just had Snake be kind of a indiscriminate killer. Like, he was the real bad guy of that story, apparently.
You never played as Sam Fisher, the murdering psychopath?
Yeah, I would. That wasn't part of your experience with that game?
No, I straight up murdered everybody and hid their bodies. That was my experience with it. Why is his arm glowing?
I think he cast haste on it.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, Bygone, if you could just get rid of Reflect and let me hit you with some really overpowered magic again, that would be great.
No, why don't you just cast Reflect on one of your party members? Oh, well, you don't have it yet.
Actually, I do, but I am out of MP.
Oh, well.
We're gonna be fine here.
The only game I ever really exploited the whole Reflect thing with was with Final Fantasy IX.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because you could learn, double Reflect or something.
Right, and then just bounce spells off of you.
Yeah, and make them ridiculously overpowered.
Yeah. Really overpowered for a game that admittedly never needed it, but still,
yeah, it was kind of like FF6. It was not the most challenging entry in the series. I mean, it was like 6. That didn't dampen the experience at all. It was still...
yeah, it was still my favorite Final Fantasy. But, man, again, could have really used an extra challenge there.
Yeah. How is this possible? What we're seeing right now?
I'm pretty sure the arm just dies once the next, there we go.
There it goes. I mean, its face is emoting what we're all thinking.
Might have looked like Cecil had just ducked and let the little mage take the brunt of that.
That's exactly what happened.
Some paladin.
Hey, look, I'm still learning how to be a paladin, okay? These things don't come naturally to me.
In my defense, I was a dark knight when I woke up this morning.
Taking the dive for children. You disgust me. Good night.
I can't remember. Had I seen Shazam since we last recorded?
Shazam?
Yeah.
Oh! Oh, I was thinking the Shaquille O'Neal movie. No, go on.
Yeah, I know, right? Me too. Or was that Kazam? I always get them mixed up.
Yeah, I think Kazam is the actual movie that was made, and Shazam is what everyone thinks they remember.
Yeah, the Mandela effect,
yeah.
you will.
But now a real movie named Shazam has come out, and that's muddied the waters even more.
For those of us old enough to remember, I suppose.
But now everyone looking for a great family movie starring Shaq is going to have to sit through a DC film. Sorry.
Well, you know, it's not the best. It's not the worst DC film that ever came out.
I've actually heard it's great. Yeah.
It's pretty good. It's one of those movies where most of the funny stuff is in the trailer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
I mean,
don't get me wrong. Really funny.
Oh, it's definitely the best DC movie. The funny parts are legit funny, but I just kind of wish there was more like the kid screwing around figuring out his superpower stuff, because that was definitely the highlight of the movie.
I gotcha.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Maybe they were trying to distance it from Spider-Man a little. I don't know. Half the movie being the kid learning how to do his power. Oh, hey, speaking of which, I know you had some problems with the art style, but have you seen Into the Spider-Verse yet?
You know, funny enough, NPR actually did an hour-long dissection of Into the Spider-Verse and kind of sold me on seeing it. I hadn't realized that the stop-motion stuff was an intentional art style, which was one of many art styles, but you're trying to say something.
Well, no, not only is the art style awesome, but it has the best kid figures out his powers montage I have ever seen. It is so freaking hilarious.
Can you please tell me whether or not Nicolas Cage is in that movie, because that's been bothering me.
Yes, he is Spider-Man Noir, and that's all I'll say.
Okay, that's
I'll try not to spoil anything.
No, if I ever get the chance, I definitely plan on watching it.
Yeah, definitely give it a view. It's.
I mean, if it ends up on Netflix, which, I mean, it won't, now that I think about it.
It's a Sony. It's more Sony than Disney. I think you're good. Wow,
well,
okay,
you know,
Not-So-Just is the bitch of this game.
Well, he really is, because, I mean, a couple Thundagas and he's down.
I was going to say, I kind of get the feeling like that the developers forgot they gave you Thundaga for this fight.
True fact. I believe that 110%. It's another monster. Kill him.
Oh my god, what the fuck is that? Kill it! Kill it with fire! I forgot to unequip Palom and Porum. Yeah, whatever. At least they'll have some gear on when I use them for the end game dungeon.
Who needs their tiny end game, or who needs their tiny mage clothes?
I don't know. I could use the Gil.
That's true. I'll sell some dead kids' clothes for Gil.
Wouldn't it be great? They're like spending the evening in there trying to pry off all the gear from their petrified bodies. Palom and Porum wake up with like mutilated hands where they tried to pry the staves out with crowbars. Oh my god.
We need money, and I'm not seeing a lot of ideas besides this one right now.
You want to get a job? Is that what you're telling me? We don't have time for that shit.
You want to save the world, or you want to sit around and play Burger Time?
Fine, we'll just leave you here with your scruples, Tella. Let's go, Yang. Yang is kind of like looking between him, not quite sure what to say, but he shrugs his shoulders and follows Cecil.
It was so nice. Yeah, but anywho, like I was saying, I don't see Into the Spider-Verse ending up on Netflix, since Disney is launching, what is it, Disney Plus?
Yeah, they're getting pretty territorial. You know, I'm going to be honest, I'm just straight up not going to get that until they've had a year to see how the tectonics of the streaming market change after that. Because I'm not just going to pour money into something just because it's Disney. Like, I still buy enough Blu-rays that it's just not worth it for me to have a streaming service just for Disney. So, I'll stick with Netflix and PlayStation View.
I'm not going to get all those Star Wars spin-offs, huh?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Please. No, actually, this week, didn't they just announce, what is it, Rise of the Skywalker or something?
Yeah, actually, and Max and I talked a little bit about this on the last episode that we recorded. I'm not 100% sure what to make of some of the references they're making. Like, it almost seems to me like if they're really kind of retconning a lot of what happened in The Last Jedi, then that almost seems like a tremendous defeat. And you're a pretty big Movie Bob fan, right?
Actually, I think he's a pretentious prick and I can't stand him, but he does have some solid points that I respect.
Okay, then I would watch his video on that trailer, because he pretty much summarizes exactly what I've been thinking about it, which is, I don't think...
Yeah, I did see that.
Okay.
I did see that.
So you know the point that he makes then. Like, there's no way a multinational conglomerate like Disney is being so careless as the fan base thinks they're being with Star Wars. You just know that they've had like a multi-phase plan for this series that was orchestrated from the second they purchased the rights from Lucas. And
Battlefront 2.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't say that EA had their shit together. I mean only that Disney, even if the movies don't turn out to be very great...
Oh, but Disney let them.
Disney let them. That they have a plan for exactly where that story is going and how it can branch off into no less than 10 spin-offs. So, I think Bob summarized it very well. Whatever we think is going to happen is not what they have planned.
Well, Jiminy Cricket, that was the whole goddamn subtitle of the last movie, you know. Gotcha. Fake out. Yeah, I didn't get tired enough of the expectations being subverted. Oh, you thought we were going to kill him. The one thing I truly enjoyed about Last Jedi, which, again, to reiterate my stance on that movie, biggest waste of 2 hours of my life. The one thing I thoroughly enjoyed was Rey's parents just straight up being nobodies.
I like that too, actually.
I thought that was great. And then it's like, oh, just kidding. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, that's just it. Like, I don't think they're going to retcon that. Like, I know everyone wants her desperately to be a Skywalker or Obi-Wan's daughter.
Who is this
something.
Everybody? No.
All of the Star Wars plebes.
Why does everybody have to be something? Okay.
That's exactly right. They don't.
I'm going to fall on the red letter media side of this conversation, which is the exact opposite of what Movie Bob said. You know, this is where we start to realize the Star Wars universe just isn't interesting overall. I mean, you've got this, like, group of 3 families that the entire galaxy seems to revolve around. Everyone has got to be related to something, and there's got to be the AT-ATs in every movie and every time period. It's just like 9 memes repeated over and over.
I can see that, but I
God
still
forbid we do
enjoy
something
it.
different.
Well, I still enjoy it, and I do enjoy kind of the expanded universe stuff to whatever degree Disney now allows it to exist. But you're right. There's always, like, it doesn't matter where in the whole fucking galaxy you are, you know someone's gonna run into C-3PO, and it's like, hey, I know those droids. It's like, why? It's like,
right.
Why do they keep going to the same 4 planets?
Don't you want to know the mystery of C-3PO's red arm?
Not really.
No, not at all, in fact. But, yeah, and I mean, I guess there's, like, someone laughs at the end of the trailer, and they're like, Palpatine is back.
Oh, they've actually confirmed that is Palpatine.
But I like how it's like the most non sequitur thing. Like, hey, let's just throw this sound clip out there that we own the rights to, so we don't have to pay for it.
That's very true.
It's like the Roadrunner. Boy, how much did you get paid to say meep meep? Well, I got paid $20 to say meep, and then the cheap bastards just doubled it.
Yeah, that's right. It wouldn't pay for the second meep. You know, Cecil, you could just push him and end this whole thing right now.
We could just Scary Lume this, just push him right off the bridge again.
That's what Mexican Cecil would have done. If you want her back, bring me the Earth Crystal. Key? You shameless dog.
If Cecil chose to haggle here. Not the Earth Crystal, but, I mean...
I got a few gems that I can hook you up with. What's this stone of invisibility worth to you? That will get you a mystery bag. I'll take it. Young, you could fucking karate kick him right off the goddamn airship right now.
No threat whatsoever. Kane does not realize how much danger he's in right now.
He's got like fucking 4 imps with him. We've got a sorcerer that can bend the cosmos to his will, a karate master, a paladin, and whatever the fuck Sid is. Like a
Sid
dude with
literally
gigantism.
has that cannon trained directly on Kane.
I know. All Sid has to do is light a match, and this whole thing goes up in smoke.
Right.
I'm fucking crazy. I'll do it. What? Sid, no.
I will kill you like I killed Edward.
He just told us where Rosa is. We don't need him anymore. Sid! Actually, Sid, you raise a very good point. Kane just gave away fucking everything. Why are we still wasting time talking to this chump?
Oh god, Kane gets back to the Tower of Zot and just like,
Sir.
first...
Sir, I fucked up. They're flying here right now. They're what? Oh god, we're so not ready.
I noticed, Kane. Somebody kicked in our front door 5 minutes ago.
That's why I'm climbing into this panic room by myself, Kane. You make the mess, you're gonna clean it up. But Golbez, please. So I know you're supposed to park the airship like down here somewhere and make a long trek to Troya, but is there anyone who hasn't just...
Square... Yeah, okay, I'm not the only one who knew about that.
It was way less obvious on the SNES, but...
It was very tough to thread that.
Not so much right here. I think they figured everyone was parking there anyways, so they just made it more observable.
Yeah, because why get into some optional battles?
Right, yeah.
Wouldn't want to raise those levels.
Why waste your time on those forest plebes? Okay, so let's see here. We can upgrade Sid, but actually, we can do much better upgrading. It's gonna be expensive, but...
Well, how much do we need to upgrade? Because we basically need to take it all off in order to go into the magnetic cave, right?
You're absolutely right. Why am I doing this?
Oh,
we will do it right after, though.
Don't forget to visit Edward in the hospital, or else you're gonna have to backtrack through that whole cave.
Yeah, that fight's not gonna go so well without that douchebag, is it? But we do need some leather clothing for Sid, just so that he can stand up for himself. Now, the ruby ring, that doesn't get magnetized, right?
No, it shouldn't. It's a gem, even though it's quite obvious it's gonna be on metal.
Right. If it doesn't have, like, a metal-sounding thing in the title, it won't get stuck, I believe. So I think right now we're good with Sid. Cecil's fucked. I mean... As
much as I hate this game, it was a pretty cool mechanic.
It was. You know, it made you think differently for one part of the... We gotta get that silver armlet up. Yep.
It's like going through an airport scanner.
Yep. But I think everything else here is good. Yeah.
What is it Cecil can use? A bow and arrow?
Yeah, but at that point... I am going to test this ancient sword theory.
That'll be interesting to see.
I'm definitely curious.
Wear that prison garb.
It's just a pillowcase with arm and leg holes cut into it. Cecil's this noble-looking knight, and he's like wearing this pillowcase. Yeah, that was one thing, you know, in these old RPGs, it didn't matter what equipment you had on, it all looked the same from, you know, the top-down perspective, and that was a limitation. I think it was kind of a suspension of disbelief. But then, like, Morrowind and other games came along, and your character literally just started out as, like, a hobo.
Yep.
Before you, with, like, mismatched, like, fur gear and, like, leather gloves and these pink-ass boots or something.
That was always so fun with Morrowind, just trying to build a cool-looking character, because, I mean, you had so much customization with that game.
You did. You really did.
Yeah, left gauntlet, right gauntlet, pauldrons.
Yeah,
boots.
that's right. You could change the gloves on each hand, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah, and, you know, there were, like, sacred artifacts where you definitely need two different a left and a right-hand glove. Yeah, that was fun, seeing how many, like, sacred relics you could just, you know, wear at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, that's one of the things that I'm really enjoying about Assassin's Creed Odyssey is, I mean, it's nowhere near as deep of an equipment system as what you just described, but at the same time, it's way deeper than anything else Assassin's Creed has done. And you can play with some, like, it's not just equip the most, like, statistically high-powered sword. It's, you know, you can build a character geared towards poisoning enemies, or setting them on fire, or using bow and arrows. It's pretty cool. It's right. Way less about, like, just close the distance and drive your, you know, pointy gauntlet hand into their necks. You can legitimately customize your battle experience. Sup, Edward? Why'd they leave his hat on? And like, in that Cockney side of his head, little fashion thing. I'm out of words. Help me out here.
I took a drink and I thought for some reason Tella jumped onto the head of his bed.
You motherfucker! You killed my daughter! Oh God!
Tella, we've been over this. She forgave him, remember?
I don't remember that shit.
Oh wait, no, I don't think we made peace with that, did we?
No, we really haven't. Tella just figures...
It doesn't help that it looks like he's jumped onto the head of the bed and he's wearing Sam Fisher's night vision.
Right. I see you, bitch. No, the only thing stopping Tella is that there's too many witnesses.
He goes over and he's looking at the bars on the windows. Yeah, I could probably burn through these.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He gives them a good rattle. He's just in the corner and all of a sudden they hear... All right.
See a big grin on his face.
That'll do nicely.
What time's the infirmary close?
Hey, when's the shift change? Just out of curiosity. Tella knocks out a nurse and puts on her gown. Oh, hello, I'm Nurse Telly. What? Telly. I'm here to take care of that hunky Edward. Now, are you high?
Do you have to talk or interact with the harp first?
Maybe.
No, they're just going to give you the harp. Okay.
Nope, there it is. Whisper weed.
That's right.
Here, if you guys get bored out there, smoke this. Can't we just activate it right now? Oh wait, no, because I have to take the whisper weed in there.
It's a lot better than having forgotten to talk to Edward.
You're right, though. In the early mistranslated edition of this game, it just says that gives you a harp, right? Or like a twin harp or something like that?
Yeah, it was like a twin harp.
Yeah.
I mean, not that we're talking about a substantial difference in characterization.
Right.
Honestly, the twin harp made a lot more sense.
Yeah, than just some grass he had in his pocket. Here,
for what I assume is essentially an earpiece.
Here, I was gonna smoke this myself, but you guys...
Colonel, the Dark Elf is wiping out my entire party. What do I do?
Smoke this, Snake. What?
I mean, does he hold it up to his ear and talk into it? No, it carries sound or something. I don't know.
You want to tell me there's this, like, it cuts to Japan right now, and there's some Japanese man leaning over the desk. What the fuck does that even mean? You want to tell me what inspired you to write this, son? This is Squaresoft, goddammit. We take our plot seriously. It's 1992.
Oh, that's right. You need the purple Chibokabo
Chibukaboo
to go up north.
Max, back when we first were playing these games, he would never admit this, but he used to call them chickaboos.
Chickaboos?
Chickaboos.
I can see that.
And me not knowing any better and being a barely literate 7-year-old just agreed with him. Chickaboo.
Yeah, sure. I have no counter-argument, right?
Yeah. Clearly he's played this game more than I have. He must know what he's talking about.
So, I'm noticing that Cecil's mustache.
Cecil's mustache?
I am noticing that Cecil is the only one here who lacks a mustache.
Yeah, you know, you're right. There's a surprising amount of facial hair going on in the party right now for a...
How have I never noticed this before?
For a JRPG. You know, usually he'd be surrounded by beautiful teenagers, but...
Of indeterminate gender.
And wearing significantly less clothing. Well, I guess Yang is mostly naked.
Well, yeah, I guess now we've just... The anime and JRPGs post-2008.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of the tropes that we're making fun of really didn't rear their head until kind of the mid to late 90s, and it only went downhill from there.
Yeah. Now, once the industry went moe, it never turned back.
Yeah,
Rex, if you
I blame the Tales games.
Which, as I understand, only really produced one good game, which was Tales of Vesperia.
Actually, Tales of Symphonia was quite good. There was kind of a PS1 era. What do I want to say? So the first one that I played was Tales of Destiny on the PS1. That was good. And then that game's sequel was also good. And then they
that bird is hauling ass.
Yeah, I know. Look at this fucker. Man.
He's like a hummingbird.
Let's just send him around the world, since he wants to fly so bad. But no, Tales of Symphonia for the GameCube was really good. And then after that, it completely fell off the map for me. Like, I know that they're still releasing them, and the ones that I see on Steam right now look like the most generic, boring JRPG tropes that you could imagine. Have you played any of the recent ones?
I think I had played one or two back in my achievement grinding days.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If it was cheap in a JRPG, I picked it up.
Yeah, that's not a bad way to live your life. So we are pretty much right near the end of this episode, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Really? I thought we had like 15 more minutes.
Oh, okay, cool. Maybe we can make it there. I was going to say we can go in here and test out this ancient sword theory.
We can make it at least to the next save point, because remember, we didn't start exactly at 9:30, and then we had a 5-minute intermission.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, speaking of intermissions, Jiminy Cricket, oh, someone is weighed down.
I can't tell if that's what that means.
It must be what that is.
Let's see. Yep, nope, that sword theory is completely not true. The ancient sword is just garbage.
So, speaking of intermissions, how the hell is Avengers end 3 hours and there's no intermission?
You know, I've been wondering about that. I'm not 100% sure how that's... I mean, people have obviously seen the movie now. Has this been like a thing? Has anyone's bladder exploded in the theater, or...
Well, I still don't understand. I mean, you go and you see a play, and they've got an intermission. A movie, I mean, good God, I need to sit in that chair for 3 hours?
Well, and I was going to say, I've actually seen shorter movies than that did have intermissions.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being a kid and going to Titanic just to see some boobs, and there was an intermission for that.
There was an intermission?
Yeah,
I've never seen a movie have an intermission. Like, you know, hey, here's 10 minutes to go stretch your legs, use the bathroom, and visit the snack bar.
So
I've never seen that.
The only two movies that I remember seeing were with an intermission were Titanic and the third Lord of the Rings. I distinctly remember
the
those two
original
having.
trilogy or the Hobbit trilogy?
The original.
Okay.
I distinctly remember Return of the King having an intermission.
Yeah.
At least at the theater I saw it in.
I can't testify to any of that, but it really should be a standard practice.
Yeah, if you're more than like 2 hours and 15 minutes, yeah, definitely make that a policy.
I mean, like, I specifically won't see movies that are over 2.5 hours long. I can't put up with that.
Dude, I saw you watch The Godfather with me. You know you enjoyed that shit.
In the comfort of my house, sure. Okay, I won't go out and see a movie that's 3 hours long. Now, if I can pause the movie, delightful. And hey, there was a lot going on in Godfather. That needed 3 hours.
That's true. That was the shortest 3-hour movie I've ever seen.
That is a very good way of putting that. I remember the last 3-hour movie I saw was the Hobbit movie, and God, I felt every minute of that. I mean, I was with good company, so I didn't mind, but it didn't help that it was a mediocre movie that overstayed its welcome after about the hour mark.
Yeah, I was disappointed with the Hobbit movies, too. I mean, I liked them more than your average person because I'm easy to please, I think. But, yeah, they definitely... overshot those.
They were trying to milk a 3-hour book to be a 9-hour epic, which...
Yeah, right.
No.
You're right, yeah, I was going to say, I could read that whole book in less time than it takes to watch all 3 movies.
And I'm not a total curmudgeon. I thoroughly enjoyed reading Hobbit. I mean, I know I'm someone who wasn't particularly impressed by Lord of the Rings, But I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed those books when I read them the first time through. So,
though that being said, I did end up buying all of the extended editions of the Hobbit movies just for the appendices and like the making of featurettes.
Yeah, they've usually got some pretty cool behind-the-scenes stuff. I mean, wasn't The Hobbit the movie where they killed like a bunch of animals died in that they were using for props or something?
I don't remember that part, but that sounds
I think like 15
that sounds like something that would
or-
happen to Peter Jackson. So yes.
Yeah, I think like 15 dogs or horses died, and then PETA got all pissy about it and
Like they do.
staged a protest with the naked Pamela Anderson or something, or whatever they do. Hey, Chris, how many PETA members does it take to change a light bulb?
How many, Nick?
It doesn't matter. PETA can't change anything.
Oh!
Sorry.
Burn! That shit
There you go,
burns!
Smartest thing you'll say in your life, and nobody was around to hear it. Oh my god, it's Green Thanos.
Wait, that's just the Hulk. That's just like the 70s Hulk.
Yeah. We already have a giant green monster, and his name was the Hulk. I forgot.
That's just fucking Lou Ferrigno. I'm sorry.
It's a swole Shrek, I guess.
That was actually the best part of that whole Hulk movie in the Avengers universe was when he met Lou Ferrigno and he was
Lou
like the security
Ferrigno,
guard
yep.
at the university or something like that. That was great.
Boy, back when your movie effects were, well, Ferrigno. We'll just paint him green, and, I mean, we can get him to work out. That's all we can do.
Well, what was even better about that was it was before Disney acquired the rights to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and they were actually still acknowledging that there was a whole world of like really low rent Marvel things that happened before these movies were ever made.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you've seen the old Spider-Man live action show, right?
Spider-Man.
Like all he ever did was fight drug dealers, didn't he? Like never fight any of his iconic villains.
And shoot scenes where he was clearly just like laying on the ground with the camera upside down to make it look like he was on the ceiling.
But hey, you had to get creative back then. I mean, there's only so much you could do with practical effects.
That's right, and they made it work. You know, there was a level of creativity there that just you don't have to have anymore in filmmaking.
For example, like, do you know how they filmed the movie Chucky? This is fascinating. So in order to film the movie Chucky, the director, whose name escapes me, did not want you to see any... He didn't want you to see any strings attached to the doll. So what happened was Chucky was actually being puppeted from behind with rods and strings.
Okay.
So in order to pull that effect off, they had to just punch holes all over the house and measure their camera angles really carefully. So every time he's moving, he's being puppeted from behind somehow.
Like meticulously so.
Meticulously, yes, because it was good puppeteering too.
Right. Yeah, the movement in that movie, I always kind of wondered about that now that you mention it.
Yeah, they were doing things with it. It was pretty interesting. If you ever get a chance, try to look up a series called Eli Roth's History of Horror. He does like a good 6-episode series that basically gives you the gist of all the different like cool quirks of the horror genre of the last 50 years.
Ooh, I'd be on board for that.
Oh, it was really good. I mean, it just started out as a way to promote The Walking Dead at first, but you know, then they actually got into some really kind of cool stuff.
So as much as I hate some of these modern remakes and reboots, speaking of the Chucky movies, I gotta say I'm not 100% upset about the new, like...
It's Mark Hamill voicing Chucky. How can you not watch that?
That's exactly right. When I found out also this week that Mark Hamill would be voicing Chucky, I was like, I don't care how much CG they use, I'm gonna go see it. Just to hear Mark Hamill Chucky.
No, I entirely agree. I mean,
Or
you
the
may be able
Joker
to-
as a small doll.
you may be able to CGI the bejeebus out of a movie, but you still can't replace good voice actors.
And if nothing else, like, with Mark Hamill, it's going to be good voice acting. That man has superseded his reputation from Star Wars in a way that no other actor has. And I feel like he's actually... I mean, he's probably not making as much money, but he's way more successful as a voice actor than he was as Luke.
It's so interesting
and
that
I love his early performance as Luke.
I mean, he's just such a gifted and talented, but also lucky actor to be known, for two iconic roles, both the Joker and Luke Skywalker. And,
I thought you were
maybe...
going to say his role as a side villain in Kingdom Hearts. Man, that was brilliant.
No, actually, I was going to make reference to Skips in regular show, which I also thoroughly enjoyed. But
there's not a project that we enjoy that we probably couldn't pin on Mark Hamill.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's just and he also makes for a good one-off villain on pretty much every crime TV show.
That's true. He does usually show up to play a creepy, like, serial killer or janitor.
He's like the less serious version and the less intimidating version of Ron Perlman.
Okay, so before we wrap this episode up, what is your favorite Mark Hamill performance overall? Because I'm loving this conversation.
I hate to be trite, but it's I wish I could say something clever, but it's just straight up the Joker.
Yep, I was going to say the same thing. Or alternatively, that time he appeared on The Simpsons.
That time he was what? You cut out for a moment.
The time he appeared on The Simpsons. I'm still cutting out, aren't I?
No, I'm actually just thinking. Without wanting to ask you for the answer, I know he was on The Simpsons.
It was a parody of the movie Bodyguard, where Homer saved him from a fan of a gaggle of like ravenous geeks that were going to kill him at a convention, and so he made Homer his full-time bodyguard. And then, of course,
I'm having
Homer...
trouble remembering. Go ahead, go on further.
Well, and then, of course, there's a scene where Homer screws up and the mayor gets the shit beaten out of him. So he goes back to Mark Hamill, and it happens again where this convention is about to kill him because he made the lightsaber noise the wrong sound. And Mark Hamill is just singing in Luke Skywalker apparel at a nightclub, and someone's about to kill him, and he goes, "Homer, use the," and Homer goes, "The Force? No, the fork." And so he stabs a guy with
I remember this now.
And that's probably more of a testimony to how clever The Simpsons used to be than it is Mark Hamill himself, but that was still a favorite appearance of mine.
Oh yeah.
But yes, his Joker is still canonically my Joker. Like, I love the cartoon / Arkham series Joker.
So much of what the Batman the animated series did ended up making Batman canon. I mean, Harley Quinn wasn't a thing until she was a one-shot on.
Oh yeah, that cartoon is responsible for a shocking amount of the ultra serious, ultra dry Batman mythos that everyone takes for granted. And the funny thing is, it was never written that way originally. That's kind of like this modern invention that was inspired by the, admittedly excellent Dark Knight movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, you had that dark deco art style.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly,
I forgot if I saved.
This is going to be a whole episode in and of itself, because I was actually pride myself on being a bit of a historian for the animated series.
I'm actually really excited about this and want to bookmark this conversation so we can have it in full.
All right, I will write it in my agenda book.
Okay, well, we'll put it into the script for the next episode. But hey, until next time, Nick, we will see you then.
Yep, next time on Play the Hits.